diesel, baby.
We about to put the D in the diesel. Well, this Ram 3500 needs some love, and it's going to start with rebuilding basically the whole front end. And what I mean by that, all of these track arms, tie rods, everything. Let's go ahead and get to work. Well, I guess that sucks.
Didn't think the old man could do that, did you?
Before I do any kind of suspension work, I spray all of the bolts and nuts and everything down with PB Blaster because, trust me, this stuff will come out a lot easier if you spray it down, let it sit, or some kind of rust penetrant basically. Next, I start with my measurements. I want to measure this thing out because we're going to have to piece it all together, and I want to get it as close as I can by hand without having to be at the alignment rack for days. So I take the first measurement, then I take the measurement from the pitman arm down to the passenger side. And yes, I write down my measurements. Now I take the cotter pin out and I zip the castle nut off just a little bit, but I put it back on so I can take my hammer and bash it basically until it becomes loose, just like this. And I do it on both sides.
Don't think that works. Now we need this tool. My pitman arm remover.
Next, I go ahead and support my axle with my transmission jack, and if you're doing it on your back, you're going to need to put a jack under it. Next, I start with taking the sway bar links out because they're a lot easier to do when you don't have all that other stuff in the way, like the steering components. Now these came out actually pretty good. Sometimes I have to put a pair of vice grips on the backside so I can actually unloosen them. But I got lucky. Now here's something that I do because you see the weight of that spindle, it wants to lean back like this. So I take a pair of, well, not a pair, but I take some zip ties and I zip tie it inward because, as you see soon, we're going to have to get behind that rotor because the bolts basically sit behind it with the track bars. Now I'm prepared.
Now we're at to the point in the video where we have to put the track arms in. And I suggest to you guys do one at a time. There's 4 of them, but do one at a time, because if you take all 4 of them off all at the same time, you're gonna have a pain in the ass aligning this heavy front axle. So do one at a time. Correction, one side at a time, because I seriously doubt I can only take one, put one in, and then get the other out. So both of these are going to come out, but just do one side at a time. You'll save yourself a lot of trouble. 15/16 right there, and it is a 21 up there.
See what I mean? Now that I have the rotor out of the way, I'm able to access my bolts to the track bars. And if you have to, use your hammer to get it to come out a lot easier. Or get yourself a big screwdriver, because this top one up here is kind of a pain in the butt, as you can see. So I get my lady slipper, that's what we call it, or a big screwdriver like I said, and you can just tap this thing on out. Just like this. Easy peasy. Now the next one, up on the top, well, this bolt is on the inside of the frame. So doing this thing on a lift is a whole lot easier, because if you had to do it on your back, it's going to be a pain in the ass for you. There we go. And use your pry bar to pop this thing on out. And a hammer, of course, because sometimes they want to get stuck from being in there for so many years. Now basically, I'm just putting all the stuff back in the way it came back out. And I start basically in reverse order. So I start with the bolt that's on the inside of the frame, to line it on up. Now you see the reason why we do one side at a time, because you could just imagine if you took all 4 of those track bars off without supporting the axle, it would be hell trying to align this thing up to get the bolts in, basically. And as you can see here, I'm lining the bolts up with my lady slipper or pry bar, or what have you, or big ass screwdriver, whatever you prefer. This job is really not that hard if you really think about it. It's just a lot of heavy stuff that needs to be supported. That's it basically. Now we got to move on to the other side. Everything that I did to the driver's side to the passenger side. So yes, I'm taking all my track arm bolts off.
First problem that I've encountered. Can you tell what the problem is? Yes, the downpipe is in the way of getting that bolt that goes in from the inside. I gotta go that way, so it's blocking it. So I'm gonna have to drop that downpipe. All right, now I got some room.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me.
And this is the reason why we do it one at a time, because I need to get this axle pushed towards this way so I can start the bolts. Well, if you don't have enough power to push the axle this way, grab yourself your trusted ratchet strap. Strap it to your lift here and start ratcheting away. It'll come together. There we go. Maybe I spoke too soon.
You dead on right here.
Help if you got the right bolt, Jack. There we go.
To my best, so treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Now it's time to pop my zip ties. Because now we can go ahead and put all the steering components on. In other words, I got to pretty much build it though. Got to piece all that together to look like that. That's why we had our measurements there. Now before we piece all the tie rod stuff together, I can go ahead and put my sway bar links on.
Make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I won't get back up, cause I think they'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out.
Now right here, I'm putting my pitman arm on. Just getting it up there, and then I'm going to put the nut on just hand tight because we're going to zip all this stuff down later. Well, basically like that. Now I wasn't kidding when I said I had to piece all of the steering components together. Yes, I'm basically time-lapsing this because it did take me a while to get it right and the measurements right. And if you got two people to help you, or if you got another person to help you put these heavy steering arms on, that's beneficial to you, believe me. But if you don't, start with one, put the nut on hand tight, and connect the pitman arm rod, and basically just tighten everything up. And I apologize for the light shining through. It's almost like Jesus was coming. Don't forget your cotter pins. There we go. Just bend it on over. Make sure you zip everything down. Don't want anything loose. There we go. A rebuilt steering.
Now that I got all the suspension and everything in, I want to at least try to get it close enough. Like the suspension, the tie rods, I need to get it at least close enough so my alignment machine will actually read it. Because if it's too far out, too pigeon-toed out or pigeon-toed in, it's not going to read. So what I do first is I lock my steering wheel straight, and then I start to turn in, see if I can eye the wheels to get a little bit straight like that.
And here we go. Basically turning this by hand, trying to get my wheels straight. Just eyeing them up just a little bit. So, like I said earlier in the video, I won't be there all day with the alignment rack. And it is a little bit tricky because the passenger side, the rod that going up to the pitman arm, that's the one you got to adjust to get the steering wheel straight. Now, the adjustment on the driver's side, that is to get the wheel straight. So basically, you're adjusting two different things. And yes, some people get confused with this stuff and have a hard time. But like I said, this one that I'm doing right here, this gets the wheels straight only. The other one up towards the pitman arm, the one that's going up to an angle, that's the one you turn to get the steering wheel straight. I know it seems kind of ass backwards, but that's the way Dodge pretty much built this stuff. And I'm no idiot. I'm sitting down to put these wheels on because they are heavy. Some people can use a pry bar and throw it up under the tire to get it aligned, to get on the spindle, but it's just as easy as to sit your butt on the ground.
Did you really think I was going to lift them? Well, that's going to be a wrap for this one. Tune in next time because we're going to have it back in the shop because we need to do all 4 ball joints and the alignment. So stay tuned. See you next time. Peace.
To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything